What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. This is TWA Motorsports, and today, oh my gosh, it's going to be a long day. We are going to clean the inside of the Tahoe, the new Project Tahoe. No, I said it wasn't going to be a project. The new Tahoe. The interior is gross, so we're going to clean it, and it is going to take some major cleaning. You know, I've seen worse, but this thing is absolutely disgusting, and it's rainy today. It's probably one of the worst days to do it, but we are going to get it accomplished. What we are going to do is we're going to take obviously all the floor mats out. I'm going to take the seats out. We're going to get all this stuff out of the way, and then we are going to use a extractor. So I rented this from Home Depot, and I will list that in the description down below. Now, I took some of this from Matt LSX. If you guys haven't ever watched him clean the inside of his Tahoe, he's got an older body style Z71, and he did this and it turned out great. So I'm kind of copying him in a way, but I've got a little bit of different situation. Mine's not quite as bad as his, and mine's a darker carpet. So we're going to get started by taking all the seats out, which is going to be a chore in itself. The back ones are pretty easy, but the fronts, I think the fronts will be pretty easy, but the middle ones will probably be, I might need some help from my son. So we're going to grab these back seats out, get everything out of the way, and then we'll show you guys what it looks like before we vacuum. Well, we have all the seats out. So the back ones are really easy. The front ones are pretty easy because there's only 4 bolts and 2 plugs. The middle ones, I can tell you that I did it by myself, but man, it was kind of a pain. It's heavy. This center section of carpet obviously comes out, but you guys can see how absolutely disgusting this thing is. I mean, it is gross. Look at all the, I don't even know, French fries and cookies, and I don't eat in my car, so it's crazy for me to see stuff like this because, well, it's just trashy. Like, how can you live in your car and does your house look like this? You know what I mean? So anyway, guys, I'm going to get the vacuum out, and we're going to go over it with the vacuum first. So that's basically our starting point. Now, I may end up taking, I don't think the console's too bad other than the top. You know, I'll clean that later, but our main focus today is going to be the carpet. So we're going to grab the vacuum. We're going to go all over this entire thing. I'm going to take that center section of carpet out. It literally just Velcros in. The other thing I found out is this thing has a leak. So the roof rack is leaking. And I don't know if you guys can see those water stains, but we're going to have to take the roof rack off and seal that up. So I was going to take the roof rack off anyway, but let's go grab the vacuum and, well, see what we can do. Now, before we get the vacuum, actually, we're going to go ahead and take the big stuff up that the vacuum won't pick up. I'm just going to put in a trash bag. Now we're just going to kind of start our way up in the passenger compartment, then to the driver's side, and then the middle, and then the back. So kind of working our way back with the vacuum. Well, as you can see, I got the front vacuumed out, and I decided that the only way to do this thing justice was to take the center console out, and there's not a whole lot to it. In fact, let me show you here. Right here, the center piece pops out, and it's just clipped in. So you want to pop that out, and then you have a couple plugs. There was one here, there was a plug holding that I had to push out there, and then these two plugs, this one and then the bigger one that swings. So not a whole lot. Once the seats are out, that pretty much is what keeps the console in place. So I pulled it out because it looked like there was a bunch of stuff coming out from the bottom side of it, and in order to get up where I want to get clean, it just needed to come out. So it is out of the way, but we're going to continue on our vacuuming. I'm probably going to go over that center spot one more time just because the console's now out of the way, and then work our way back. Let's take a look at it after the first vacuum. So it does look a lot better. I mean, obviously we still got a lot of stains and whatnot, but a majority of the big stuff is gone. And I took this center section of carpet out because I'm going to clean it outside the car. I would honestly like to replace it, but I think I'm just going to clean it up. But you can see we have a ton of work yet to go. But the next step I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get up some rags and I'm going to clean up this white area. And the reason I'm going to do that is because once I start getting everything wet, I don't want to be dragging this back onto the carpet. So we're going to get all these areas where the seats were setting and the center section where the carpet was at, and then even in these nooks and crannies back here, just preliminary cleaning. Now it may not be the best because we're obviously going to get it dirty again when we start getting it all wet with the extractor, but I think like I said, I don't want to be dragging this junk back onto the carpet. So let me go grab some rags and some Purple Power or Super Clean, and we're gonna clean this up. Now that we have those areas somewhat cleaned up, and you can see there was a crayon here, we're going to go ahead and vacuum it one more time. So what we're going to do this time though is we're going to use a stiff deck brush. Now you can see that this is normally used to scrub decks, but it's a really stiff brush, and we're going to use that to kind of agitate the carpet, get some of that extra dirt and dust out before we spray it down and start to use that extractor. So that's our next step. Let's go ahead and grab the vacuum, and I'm going to follow up, basically scrub a little bit and then follow up with the vacuum behind it. Once we have the second vacuum done, it's time to start cleaning and scrubbing. So I'm using some Super Clean. I will list this in the description down below. You don't have to use this. There's several other options. I know that Matt used Folex, which I didn't have any local. I was going to try that, but I've always had really good luck with Super Clean. And I just bought a cheapy 1 gallon sprayer. And he talked about in there, it's easier than using a spray bottle, and I totally agree with that. It is easier to spray it on with this, and we're going to be soaking it down quite a bit. So I just chose to do this option. Now I mix this 1 part to 3 parts water, so it isn't straight. So make sure you do that. It probably would be okay straight, but it just doesn't clean quite as well in the past when I've used it straight. So we're going to spray this carpet down, and we're going to scrub on some of those areas that are really soiled. We're going to scrub the whole carpet, but we're going to scrub on the areas that are really soiled, and then we're going to bust out that rental piece. You can see all my trash here coming out of the car, but we're going to bust out that extractor and see what we can get done. Now that we got everything scrubbed down, and you can see my brush is kind of falling apart, but that's no big deal. We got everything scrubbed down. It's nice and soaked with that solution. We are going to go ahead and plug this thing in now. We just filled it with some hot water, and I put a little bit of that, I mean like a cap full of that Super Clean inside of it. And you're not supposed to use something real foamy, so I didn't want to put a ton in there. But we're going to start up here in the front and see how much of this junk's going to come out. It's probably going to look like chocolate milk. It's going to be absolutely disgusting, but I think it's going to clean it pretty good.
Perfect.
So let's take a look at going over it with one pass. Now the sun's finally decided to come out, which is good. You can see there's flies everywhere, but it's pretty clean. I'm gonna go over it one more time, and I'll show you guys after. I won't bore you with time lapse on that because you're not gonna see a ton of change. But the back I've went over a couple times, and as you can see, it looks like somebody spilled some bleach back here or something. I'm not real sure, but obviously the back is looking quite a bit better, and I've just got one little patch here to do, and then I'm going to move back up to the front. Like I said, I'm going to go over it a second time, and then I will show you guys what it looks like after the second pass. And then of course I've got this piece that came out of the center section that I haven't even touched yet, and well, you can see it looks pretty gross. I'm going to have my son vacuum that off while I'm doing this, and then I'm going to go to it. I will show you guys this so you can kind of see out of the car what kind of difference it makes. I wanted to show you guys what the water looks like coming out of this thing. Look at that. Absolutely disgusting. Every time I empty it. So gross. I'm pretty sure that's coffee that I'm taking out now from the looks of things and like where it was at. Who knows? We're halfway there. Well, without making yourself completely crazy, this is about as good as it's going to get. A lot of the stains came out. It's starting to get to the point where all the water's running clear. You know, you can still see, I don't know what was red that just won't come out. Most of that is under the seat anyway. A majority of what I've gotten out, or, well, like those two bleach stains, you can't do anything with that. But majority of the stuff that I couldn't get out was under the seat. I went over this probably 100 times. I feel like it was 100 times anyway, and it just kept. Oh, it's like gross. It just kept coming out. So I don't know what's under this or what they spilled here, but obviously it's disgusting. So I think we're gonna move on. I'm gonna try to get my steam cleaner out and maybe knock out some of this paneling. Not really sure, but obviously this needs to set open and dry, and I'll vacuum it up and you'll be able to see kind of what it looks like towards the end of the video. But I'm gonna go grab my steam cleaner and we're gonna try to blow out some of this junk. I don't know if you guys can see how gross that is. The headliner, it's absolutely disgusting. So we're gonna grab it and knock some of that stuff out. Not sure how far we're gonna get today because we're running out of daylight at this point. It's taken me a lot longer to do the carpet than I thought it was going to. So obviously we're not gonna get the seats back in, but you should be able to get a good look at the carpet here in just a minute. Well, the steamer is all warmed up, and the areas we are going to kind of be concentrating on are the areas that I maybe couldn't get with the extractor, and like these panels. Now I did go on and do this panel, that's why it looks a lot better, but we're going to try to get all the dust and dirt out of the cracks and crevices. I'm not going to worry about the door panels for now because, as I told you guys, I'm going to have to repaint the door handles. So when I do that, I've got to take all the door panels off. So you can see this door panel's all chipped up, or that door handle's all chipped up. Sorry, not panel. So I'm going to concentrate on like areas like this, and that's what I'm going to get cleaned up. Then I'm going to blow out most of the like cracks here where the seats were at. Now most of that's cleaned up from the preliminary cleaning, but anyway, that's what we're going to be going over with that steam cleaner. And man, it makes really quick work of it. So hopefully we can blast through this pretty quick. The paneling is pretty easy to clean because most of it just wipes off, but the cracks and crevices are where that steam cleaner really comes in handy. So areas like this as well, where I can blow that out. There was a bunch of crud in this one. I got most of it out. But anyway, guys, let's grab the steam cleaner up, or at least get it up here, and let's get to knock this thing out. Now, as you can see, I've kind of switched over using like some little bit of Armor All, using a little bit of an interior cleaner, and You know, to be honest with you, I generally don't use Armor All, but there's some stuff in here that it just seemed like that was the only thing that would take it off. And man, this thing's nasty. It has food. I swear it has food on every single panel. So it has been a huge chore to get this thing clean, and we're a long way from it. If you guys seen the headliner before, it's gross. So we got a lot of work ahead of us, but we're getting there. I'm getting it to the point where I don't care to sit in it, because when I drove it home, honestly, it kind of grossed me out. It was that dirty. And I keep my stuff, I mean, I don't keep my stuff perfectly clean, but the interiors are always clean on my cars. So I mean, there might be a piece of dust here and there sometimes, but anyway, we're gonna keep plugging along. Once we get this dash done, we'll be done, and we're gonna go on to the carpet, and I will show you guys kind of a finished product, hopefully. Let's take a look at the after here. So a lot of stuff didn't come out that I wanted to, and I've just got this setting here for now, but you can see all the flies in here because all the freaking food that was stuck to the carpet and everything else. It came, a lot of it came out. This area here, I went over several times and it just never came clean, but it does look a lot better. And I'm going to be putting some mats in this, so it's not really going to be something that you guys can see anyway. But I will say that that extractor made a huge difference. There was no way, I mean, my steamer probably would have done this good, but it would have taken probably maybe twice as long. Now, I have been out here since 7 o'clock this morning. It is now 5:30, so I literally went in to eat, and that is it. And I am nasty, filthy, dirty. I have stuff scattered out everywhere, and well, frankly, I'm tired. So we got a good cleaning on it today, and we did get some of the paneling cleaned off too. So I got all the remote, or the switches, cleaned off. The center stack is all cleaned off. Now the screen I didn't get too clean, but everything else is clean aside from the door panels. Like I said, that's something I'm going to be doing down the road because I have to take the door handles off. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. I don't know that I did because I am tired, like really tired. I haven't taken a break other than lunch, and that was like maybe 15 minutes. So if you do like this, please smash that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you go down and hit that bell icon. That way you're notified every time we drop a new video. And well, stay tuned because obviously we've got to put this thing back together. We've got to clean up the seats. We've got to clean up the paneling. Oh my gosh, I'm not sure that I said it wasn't going to be a project, but apparently it's going to be a project. Anyway, guys, stay tuned to see what we work on next.